Hey everybody, it's your host, and we're back with another episode. And this one's going to be all about Jung's map of the psyche. And we're continuing that conversation today because, in my opinion, Jung's map of the psyche is such a helpful tool for understanding ourselves, our personalities, our behaviors, etc. But Jung's map of the psyche actually is quite simple. It's very basic, and it can really help us understand ourselves better. So let's jump into it. So today I'm going to show you how to use it. Last week I did an episode explaining what Jung's map of the psyche actually is and where it comes from. This is where we store all of our memories, our beliefs, our values, things that we're currently focused on, things that we're thinking about in the moment. Jung believed that each complex could either be a strength or a weakness, depending on how we express them. The first complex that we're going to talk about is our animus and our anima. And these two complexes together form what Jung called our personality. Our persona is our social mask, our public face that we present to the world. It's our ability to see the bigger picture and to connect the dots. If our wise old man or woman is underdeveloped, we might struggle with being overly emotional, impulsive, and lacking direction. It's based off of how we think other people want us to behave, and it's typically the part of us that we're most proud of. If our hero complex is underdeveloped, we might struggle with being overly passive, complacent, and fearful of taking risks. It's our ability to be spontaneous, open-minded, and receptive to new ideas. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope that it helps you better understand yourself. So if you guys are interested in more Jungian psychology content, please let me know. We'd love to do more episodes on this topic. Also, if you have any other ideas for videos, please leave those down below. I'm always looking for new topics to explore. It's our ability to care for ourselves and others and to create and nurture new things. If our great mother complex is underdeveloped, we might struggle with feeling disconnected from ourselves and others, and we might find it's difficult to express our creativity. And lastly, if you haven't already, please subscribe and join our beautiful community of almost 70,000 people. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you next week. And this complex challenges our beliefs and our ideas. It makes us question things and to look at them from different perspectives. It's the catalyst for change and growth. If our trickster is underdeveloped, we might struggle with being overly dogmatic, inflexible, and resistant to change. If our child complex is underdeveloped, we might struggle with being overly serious, rigid, and close-minded. If our persona is underdeveloped, we might struggle with feeling fake or superficial or maybe even disconnected from others. Our shadow is all of the qualities that we reject about ourselves. It's our hidden, darker side. If our shadow is underdeveloped, we might struggle with feeling insecure, anxious, and full of self-doubt. Our anima is our feminine side, or our receptive, nurturing, emotional side, while our animus is our masculine side, or our active, assertive, logical side. Everyone has both an anima and an animus, but typically, our anima will be stronger if we re-women, and our animus will be stronger if we re-men. But regardless of gender, the anima and the animus are both essential to our personality. If our anima is underdeveloped, we might struggle with being overly critical or judgmental, or maybe even unfeeling. If our animus is underdeveloped, we might struggle with being passive, indecisive, and overly emotional. For example, our desire for knowledge is a strength when we're curious, open-minded, and willing to learn. But it can become a weakness when we're judgmental, rigid, and close-minded. Our desire for power is a strength when we're motivated, driven, and ambitious. But it can become a weakness when we're controlling, manipulative, and power-hungry. Basically, every complex is a double-edged sword, and it's up to us to decide how we want to use it. Everything in our conscious mind can be brought into awareness, and it directly influences how we interact with the world around us. From our conscious mind, we come to our personal unconscious. This is where all of our repressed thoughts, feelings, and memories live. It's basically anything that we've pushed down or ignored. And then lastly, we have our collective unconscious, which houses all of our instincts, our genetic memories, and our archetypes. All humans share the same basic fears, hopes, dreams, etc., and those things are stored in our collective unconscious. I find that most people hear something like Jungian psychology and think, it's too complicated. It's just not for me. The first thing that we need to remember when working with Jung S-MAP is that it is a circle. There are no ends, there are no outsides, and everything is interconnected. The reason why Jung made his map circular is because he wanted to convey this idea that all of these elements of the psyche are interconnected. Our self is that part of us that observes our thoughts, our feelings, our actions, and experiences. It's our higher calling. It's what Jung called our center of gravity, and it's always striving for wholeness and balance. In order to reach our self, we have to acknowledge and accept all aspects of ourselves, both positive and negative, conscious and unconscious. When we ignore or repress certain parts of ourselves, we move further away from ourself. Nothing exists in a vacuum, and we take any aspect of ourselves out and examine it without, also considering how it interacts with everything else. So if you're ever feeling stuck or confused or maybe even overwhelmed by your own psyche, remember that everything is connected and look at the bigger picture. Also, and this is super important, there's no levels on Jung's map. He didn't believe that some parts of the psyche were more advanced or more evolved than others. Instead, everything is working together to make us who we are. Now, this doesn't mean that everyone has all of these complexes activated or being expressed at the same time. We don't necessarily have all of these complexes consciously. Some may be buried deep within our unconscious mind, but they are still part of our psyche, and they still influence us in some way. So let's get started. Starting at the center of Jung's map, we have our true self, or our self. Moving outwards from our self, we come to our conscious mind. Now there's one other thing that I want to talk about before we go through each of these complexes, because it's very important. Okay, so let's go through each of these complexes and talk about what they are, how they show up, and how to bring them into balance. Next up is our persona and our shadow, and these two complexes together form our ego. Our next complex is our wise old man or our wise old woman, and this complex represents wisdom, insight, and knowledge. Moving on, we have our child, and this complex represents innocence, creativity, and playfulness. Next up, we have our trickster. Our next complex is our hero. This represents courage, strength, and determination. It's our ability to face our fears and to overcome obstacles. Lastly, we have our great mother, and this represents abundance, fertility, and nourishment. And that's Jung's map of the psyche. Again, I think this is such a powerful tool for understanding ourselves and our motivations and behaviors. Like I said last week, this topic of Jungian psychology is a rabbit hole that I could literally go down forever. There's so much more to explore and learn. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with someone you think might also like it.